Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this first tutorial on how to use SketchBook Pro. SketchBook Pro is a great tool to sketch your creative ideas. Similarly to Procreate and Photoshop, this software has its own cool features that I want to cover in these videos. This is going to be the first of several tutorials on SketchBook Pro, and in this particular video I want to show you the basic interface of the program. And to use SketchBook Pro, you'll definitely need a tablet. I've used a Wacom Intuos tablet that I've had for several years and has worked really great. It has never given me any problems, so if you're interested in getting one, I'll leave you the link in the description box below. Also, this video is not sponsored neither by SketchBook or Wacom, but are the tools I like using and like to share with you today in this tutorial. So when you open Sketchbook, one of the first things you want to do is to set the preference that best suits you. If you go to the main menu and click the SketchBook Pro reference link, you'll see this window that shows several tabs with general information of the document and program. The tabs that you're going to use the most are the General and the Canvas one. In the General one, the first option allows you to add a new layer every time you want to import an image to the project, and that is something you definitely want to have enabled, so you can just leave that on. The maximum number of undos is also set to 50 as default, but you can change it as well. And at the bottom, you'll see this option of saving your document as TIFF or PSD as default. I suggest you always work with PSD since you can alter working on Sketchbook and Photoshop if you save it that way. Another thing is the canvas size. Now the canvas size I normally use is 1920 by 1080 pixels at a resolution of 300 psi. Now moving forward, we have the main toolbar that has the undo and redo buttons and works similarly to other sketching software. You have a magnifying glass where you can also rotate and scale your canvas to see your drawings better. A selection tool with a variety of options, going from geometric selections to more freehand random ones, including a magic wand that works just as in Photoshop or Illustrator. You have the crop and transform tools. These last ones allow you to alter and deform any sketch you make freely. A paint bucket where you can set the tolerance of the area you're painting, and text tool. And now here are some cool features. We have these ruler tools that help you draw straight and curved lines and also full ellipses by just setting a few lines to indicate where you want the strokes to go. You can also use some French curves if you wish. Then this is one of my favorite ones, the perspective tool that locks your sketch to 1, 2, or 3 vanishing points. Then the mirror tool that will copy your strokes in real time and reflect them horizontally, vertically, or radially as you wish. This hook tool helps you make more continuous strokes by delaying and adjusting the imprint to more straight lines. This is actually an amazing tool when working on the final sketches of any project, and it also has an elliptical companion which works similarly but with circles and ellipses exclusively. And then there's also the standard geometric shapes. Now moving on, we have the layers menu. If you've been working with digital sketching for a while, you know the importance and convenience that is working with layers, since it protects your drawings, lines, and colors by working with them independently from the rest. So if you want to erase a color you don't like or a line that is not useful anymore, you can simply use different layers to only manipulate those lines. Also, depending on their position, you'll see them right on top of the drawing or behind the other elements. Another cool feature is that you can lock the layer and only modify those pixels that are edited in that layer. So this is especially useful if you want to change, say, the tone or color of the line weight, for instance. Next is the brush palette, and when you open SketchBook, it shows you these brushes by default, which are really nice, but are not the only ones that come with the software. If you click on the right icon of the palette, this window will pop, exposing different pens and brush styles you can use. Some are similar to the default ones, and some are more artistic and will look similar to stains in your sketches. And if you double click on any brush, their property windows will open. This window allows you to change the intensity of the stroke depending on how hard you draw on your tablet. You can also change the stroke size and opacity if you wish. You'll notice these three icons that look like some water droplets, and what they do is they modify the strokes you make. The first one, called the smear tool, deforms your stroke and makes it more irregular. The second one blurs your stroke, and the third one sharpens your line. If you zoom in, you can appreciate this effect much better. And finally, we have the eraser tools, which come in two varieties. The first one is a sharp eraser that deletes your stroke or color completely, while the second one only erases your drawing more blurry. Again, you can play with the properties as you wish. Now the color and brush box are those two circles on the top. The white box modifies the size and opacity of your brush by simply placing yourself in the middle circle and moving your pencil up or down or from left to right. If you move up, the opacity will be higher. If you move down, you lower the opacity. Similarly, if you move to the right, the stroke will be larger and it will be smaller if you move to the left. The black puck modifies the luminosity and saturation. So if you move up, the luminosity will be lighter. If you move down, it becomes darker. You can see this effect much clearer with this puck because it also serves as a color palette. Simply click the center of the puck and you have all the colors available to choose from. Now if you move to the right, the saturation of the color will be higher, and contrary, if you move to the left, it will be lower. Finally, we have the Lagoon menu. I personally don't like using the Lagoon, first because I view it as having a repeated element there present that only occupies some space. However, some people might actually find it very useful to get the tools they need from the Lagoon. You can hide or show the Lagoon from its default position using the small button which is on the left, so it's going to give you some options. For instance, you can move it to the right side of the screen quite easily, or you can just simply take it out. And so basically that's how Sketchbook interface works. So guys, I hope you have found this video useful. If you did and like what you saw, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you like watching sketching videos, don't forget to subscribe. I post videos on traditional and digital sketching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Have a great day, everyone.